What turns an attractive person ugly? Abusing the fact that they're attractive to be manipulative. It's disgusting what people will try to pull when they think they're attractive enough to get away with it. I shudder at the thought of the kind of emotional damage I would have suffered from this if I wasn't a super cynical person. If I was kinder, more trusting, more gullible, I can think of at least a few people that would have seriously taken advantage of me and probably left me all fucked up. I've seen it happen to friends and family too. Seriously fucking awful. These days, unfortunately, an obsession with social media. The norm seems to change. Friends of mine, both male and female, have told me they do not want to post pictures of themselves without filters on them because otherwise they feel ugly. Female friends have told me they do not want to post pictures without makeup on because they feel ugly without it. All too often, though, I think that all this editing, be it digital or not, makes people more ugly than they really are because of the added fakeness. This is a personal opinion. I know people who do like the Barbie look, but if we get so far that people think they are ugly when they cannot edit themselves with makeup or with filters, I feel bad about where we have come. This will sound egotistical, but I have always been very attractive. My family members are attractive, the men are tall, handsome, and the women are very pretty. I've always been able to get the attention of women, and I've had some long-lasting relationships that haven't worked out. Here's the kicker for me, and I know women think it's very unattractive: I get extreme social anxiety. Anytime I meet new people or don't know a group very well, my brain becomes foggy, I'm not my genuine self, I try too hard, I speak too softly, my throat swells up, and I stress sweat. It's awful, and it confuses my partner BC. They spend all this time alone with me and they don't see this social anxiety side of me. Moral of the story is not being confident turns an attractive person ugly, and it happens to me all the damn time. Poor personality, lack of intelligence. Shallow. Alternatively, a ugly person can become super attractive if they have a fantastic personality, outlook, etc. I use ugly in inverted commas because I don't believe people can be ugly themselves. I think some other people may think you are ugly, but that's just an opinion. You could argue that ugly is a measure of general opinion. Those that fewer people find attractive would be ugly, but that ignores someone's personality. And if one person finds you attractive, that's all you really need. Narcissism is the worst. It's like eating an apple that looks delicious but is devoid of flavor. There is no substance. It's hands down the worst trait I have come across that makes an attractive person ugly, and unfortunately, a fair amount of attractive people suffer from this, and I'm not sure what the cure is. It seems deeply ingrained and can be hard to spot at first glance. Talking to them. Talk to an attractive person like you would anyone else, and after a few minutes they won't be as attractive. Either you'll find out the person is impossible to talk to and find them ugly, or you'll find out they're normal and see them as a normal person. Lasting attraction comes from a personal connection, not what someone looks like. Ignorance. I hate people that don't know anything and choose to not learn anything new. People who think they're better than others, who choose to not learn about cultures or people's identities. It just makes me mad. I can see no beauty in a closed-off brain. Disrespecting others, judging people based on how they look, how much they earn, and things like that. Objectifying people and being full of themselves, thinking they are the shit and others are dirt. Hate people like that, but unfortunately dated one too. Someone who has to be top dog. I used to have this friend who was generally a nice enough guy, but if you made a mild joke at his expense, he would retaliate out of all proportion. Like you would say, "Hey, nice jacket. I saw a homeless man wearing the same thing last week." "Yeah, well, I hope your family burns to death in a house fire and you die of super AIDS." Ha 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 ha, fuck you, I'm so funny. Over-sexualizing. There can be a really amazing person, that's super attractive inside and out, but then they have to ruin it by constantly saying things that are sexual and unnecessary in a situation. Like if the only compliment someone can think of is nice ass, or you have a big ween, yeah no thanks. Being totally taken with conspiracy theories. So many of them are based on an attitude of haha, I know more than you. You're nothing but a sheep for not believing the special knowledge that I have to impart to you. So often their arguments boil down to nothing more than ad hominem attacks. That they believe themselves better than others because of their appearance or for having more than other people. Who believe that they should have everything to be above others and show it off and be quite superficial. A generally shitty attitude overall. Whiny, needy, lazy, always finds something to complain about, expects things all the time, without anything to warrant it. I'm not saying random acts of flowers aren't a thing, but it gets annoying AF when you're getting harped on because you didn't do it this week. Extremely poor hygiene. Being rude or mean to people in customer service. talking down to people, hard drugs, alcohol abuse, overly touchy and inappropriate, being very materialistic, arrogant, selfish, pushy, just to name a few. Attraction to me isn't about looks so much as it is about how someone acts. I'll notice someone more if I really like the way they treat people and how they are when they think no one is paying attention. Otherwise, faces and people are all a blur to me in day-to-day life. Personalities are what make me take notice and stick with me. I'm going to say this because it's about myself, but whether I'm attractive or not is irrelevant. Being overly clingy destroyed my first relationship and it made me an ugly person. It's an issue I'm getting help for, but I think it's an anxiety thing. I hate being alone and I want to know where my partner is if they suddenly stop messaging me. This started happening because in that same first relationship, my partner was hit by a car and now whenever they leave and don't come back in like an hour, I assume the worst. I'm with someone else now and I've mentioned him before. He says he doesn't care and that he loves me anyway, but I constantly worry my behavior will get to him one day and he'll just snap at me and end it. No personal accountability is as abhorrent as it is pervasive today. Attractive narcissists have a propensity to use their beautiful countenances to beguile others and abdicate responsibility. The concomitant positive preconceptions of beauty deter scrutiny and they're perceptive enough to wield beauty as an emblem of virtuousness. When they're choosy about the company they keep, too embarrassed to be friends with someone they don't consider to be at their level cause they're worried about their image. Putting others down around you to make themselves seem more funny and taking the mick out of whatever hobbies you do. It should be whatever makes you happy, not what others think you should be doing. I'm now scared to talk about my hobbies for the amount of backlash it gets. How they talk about others and how often. There are some people who just talk excessively about other people and they barely know them, celebrities, streamers, YouTubers, people within their circle, etc. But they seem so nosy doing this. I don't mind a quick comment or two, but I hate too much gossip about other people. Would rather hear about ideas, events, aspirations, current projects, etc. Materialism. I don't care how pretty you are, madam, but if all you talk about is Chanel bag this, Prada blouse that, money money money, gross. Sanctimoniousness. I'm fairly liberal, and I have friends all across the political spectrum. Seeing my far-left friends and acquaintances constantly spewing vitriol towards conservatives, Republicans, Trump supporters, white people, men, white men, upper class, middle class, successful capitalists, religious, Ben Shapiro, and anyone who doesn't agree 100% with their social causes du jour has killed any romantic interest I had in some of them and caused me to reprioritize what I look for in friends. Having an ugly heart, personality, just being a mean person. I was friends with a former Regina George who everyone seemed to like because she was pretty in their eyes. I just didn't get it because she was just so mean. Personality. You can have Helen of Troy beauty, but if you are a bitch or a bigot it really doesn't matter. I'm a big believer in that sort of thing being way more attractive than physical beauty. Everyone gets old and wrinkled, but a cheery, bright attitude can surpass all of that. Being a dick to restaurant or store employees, or anyone really. I worked at a restaurant with this really cute girl that would flirt with me all the time. I was thinking about asking her out. But then I saw her yell at the autistic kid that worked with us for basically no reason. I think he forgot to put out the spoons or something. Then she turned around and smiled at me like I was going to give her a high five for being a dick to someone with fairly severe mental issues. When they use their attractiveness to their advantage. I knew this guy and he was easily the cutest one in my grade, so naturally I fell for him. All of my friends warned me that he was a player and that he was only using me, but I didn't listen to them. Fast forward to a week before Christmas, he had been flirting with me non-stop. Our teacher had passed out these fundraiser papers for chocolate and Christmas presents and stuff. He started ripping the pages out of his, trying to distract our classmate that sat at our table. Well, he sent our classmate away, and when he did he kissed me. Later on I found out he had a girlfriend the entire time, and he was busy flirting with a number of other girls in my class. My friend told his girlfriend what he was doing and long story short he hasn't talked to me since then. I really don't like the narcissistic tendency of women who perpetrate constant selfies and attention seeking. It is a sign of conceit and mental illness. So when I see a woman who is attractive but seemingly obsessed with her appearance, always with a Facebook page that's nothing but pictures of herself 20 times a day in different outfits, different places, constantly self-worshipping. That to me is really ugly and makes me lose interest in a major way. We are not that special. The world is bigger than we are, and much larger than you and your looks. Get over yourself and go find a life of doing, and not just gazing into the mirror. Subscribe for more Reddit content, hit the like button and share it with your friends. Help the channel by downloading the Brave browser. Link is in the description below. Thank you for listening.